Oh, hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more, or we endeavor to. My name is DannyDealz. The show is produced by Hurricane Lopez. Today I want to talk to you about TENX Therapeutics, ticker symbol TENX. This stock is a dynamo, one of the major economic engines of the U.S., along with General Steel, the buggy whipman. No, this stock has been absolutely terrible. It has been crashing, the dilution, terrible offering, um, just one thing going wrong after another. But there is hope, I believe, for the stock. I just wanted to note that it looks like all of the warrants have been exercised on a cashless basis. I have to do the math on that, but um, a StockTwits user named SillyDecisions was noting that it had updated the share count on the 10K to the 20 some million number that would have, but then I couldn't see that number updated on Ortex or on NASDAQ or anywhere. So I thought the warrants had not been exercised. And I thought, um, for a number of reasons, I'll share my screen. You could see just on Yahoo, market cap updates to 8 million. So you could just do the math. I don't know if I have a calculator in front of me. Oh, I do indeed. So if we do 7.974 and we divide by 0.356, yeah, we get 22.39, which should be the actual original share count. I don't think that's exactly the number. I think it was like 24. So maybe they all didn't exercise, but most of them did. I have to really, run the numbers to see exactly how many warrants were exercised. But it is, as Silly Decisions noted, it is a lot of dilution, and it's like free shares. That's how these offerings go. I did read the cashless option, but I just wasn't. I really didn't think the short long hedge funds involved in this stock were going to just go ahead and cash all those in right now. A lot of times, what I've seen anyway is that they'll hold on to the warrants to not flood the share count and push the stock lower. And then once the stock goes up or there's a deal, then they'll sort of hold the deal hostage with their warrants, or and trying to get more money out of both parties, like the buyer and the seller, or the whoever's making a deal for the company, or they'll run the stock back up on a huge pump and then exercise the warrants when they're the most valuable, a little bit more slowly and strategically, so they can dump their shares, at the highest possible pump. But in any case, it looks like when Google, Yahoo have all updated to this particular market cap, implying 22.39 million shares. Now, I know people are, the inclination is to freak out and go, listen, there was only 2 million shares when we started this offering, so they've added like 20 million shares, and that means we only own 1/11th of the original share count. And, this is all true, but the fact is the company had less than like $2 million left, um, and they still don't have any debt, and so you end up with like 1/10 of this company, and it was at like a $4 million market cap or whatever it was, and was trading down into 8 cents. So this company was completely on the ropes, and they had no hope of any revenue coming in, and it was going to be really hard to borrow money. So the brain trust, the geniuses over at Roth, this is the deal that they could make. And if you go to a hedge fund or even a lender, and you go like, look, I have a pharma company with no revenue that has these oral formulations, and we need to do phase 3 um, trials, and we don't have any money to continue operations, and revenues at best case would be like 3 or 4 years away. and possibly five. You just don't know. Even that's assuming the phase three trial is a success. And somebody who's a lender, these are generally conservative types who approve loans, and a hedge fund, they'll give you the money, but they're going to want a share of the pie that approximates their risk, their view of the risk. So they're going to go, hey, look, we want 99% of this turd for, $15 million. And Roth's like, no, no, we're not going to give you 99% of the turd. We'll give you 60% of the turd. And they're like, 98%. And then eventually they settle at like 90% of the turd, and that turd is 10x. So the rest of us got diluted like crazy. And there's always a poison pill with these warrants, and that's what SillyDecisions was pointing out in the text of the offering, which was where I was like, that's why don't listen to people on YouTube. Like, I don't know anything. I'm just a normal person. I try my very, very best to read and give you accurate information, but he's pointing out, like, I'm not, even if to me it doesn't make sense to exercise the cashless option at this share price and basically give yourself a bunch of shares that at this point aren't worth anything, and I'm going to try to buy from you at 34 cents. Like, why does that? Doesn't make sense to me, but they're not my warrants, they're not my shares. And he was exactly right. They did do the cash, or many of them. I guess I don't think all of them did. At least that's not what my math would indicate. um, but anyway, we are where we are. So we're sitting at like over 20 million shares. We have a market cap around $8 million, still no debt, cash to operate on this sort of shoestring budget for the next year. Um, and basically, so where it's at is they've put off the imitinib, or I always say these wrong, and they have decided to go forward and prioritize the levosimendan, which is a very promising drug that they just got good patent news on. And this is a drug that has sold well in Europe for many, many years. Now the sales have obviously tanked because the generics have come out, the patents ran out. But this Tenax patent is, you know, Zacks Small Cap Research is one of the only, sort of legitimate bodies covering the stock. In this article, Wednesday, April 5th, written by John Vander Mosten, certified financial analyst. He basically gives you a little bit of an update on, the year's events over at Tenax, and then oh, sorry, I'm moving everything all around. I was trying to move my big giant head over there. And then he goes over an administrative expenses, all this stuff, and then he goes through the update. 10X has been navigating rough waters over the past few months. The problems were largely solved in February 2023. Raised capital, provide gross proceeds 15.6. They got about 14 million in monies, and then they sold 8 million shares, which were accompanied by a warrant to buy 2 shares or do a cashless exercise for 1.5 shares, basically. So they were essentially selling 2.5 shares for $1.8, which, if you do the math on that, they're basically selling shares, if you want to do a cashless exercise, for 72 cents. And again, that seems horrible if you've been a shareholder and you're buying at $50 or $20, but when you need money and you don't have any path forward and you have no revenues, and this is the situation you're in. So you take the deal you can get to continue operations. And Perry's like, well, management's in the tank, management's colluding with the shorts. That's highly unlikely. That's the kind of thing that gets you sent to prison, and it's gonna be easy to find out. Like, these aren't super sleuths like, that Raj guy or something is just using his phone or an app. The feds can read all these apps, these secret disappearing apps. Like, the FBI can read all this stuff. So I just don't think any of this management, like the a lot of them are medical doctors, and, you know, um, these are professionals. I don't think the company management is like colluding with anyone. I just think this is the only deal they could get, and they want to continue operations and keep getting their salary and not see their shares go to zero, because that's what's going to happen. Any of us who are complaining, like the company was about to go to zero in the next couple, they had money to continue for just a couple months at the most, and nobody was going to loan them any more money. I don't see it. At least not on any terms that would have been any better than this, because if they could have got it, they would have got it. But this article, let the patents lead the way, is just, this is my take on it. It's just critical. The 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 patent allowance and then subsequent issuance of the patent on March 22nd gives them protection to December 2024. Now, this was for subcutaneous use of levosimendan, or levosimendan, levos, if you're Russian, however you say that, levosimendan. Comrades, we must patent levosimendan. But in any case, I'm a little bit loopy. It's a holiday. I haven't had enough coffee. But in any case, it appears they're going to grant the patents for the IV, for the oral formulation that they're working on. It's a follow-on application. And the key is that it confirms that the PH-HFpEF is distinct from just another more generic heart failure, which other things have been granted, patents and protections on. So the U.S. Patent Office is essentially telling Tenax that the nature of the work they're doing provides precedent for action on the pending application that covers their oral formulation. This is really the key. Tenax is making an oral formulation of this drug that will be much more widely distributed, cheaper, cost effective, won't require. There's all kinds of reasons this is superior, and they've locked up the drug until 2040. They're gonna get these other patents. FDA approval is certainly no sure thing. It's always a risk, but they've been given an endpoint on the walking test, the 6-minute walk, that this drug has already been shown to be effective at, statistically significant. They showed that in the last trial. So the FDA has really come around. It's just their last endpoint wasn't met, but they've changed that endpoint to a secondary that was met handily. So I love the chances for approval. On Wednesday, I saw the stock just being battered again. So I basically started put in a limit order to buy anything at 34 cents. And at first I couldn't get filled. I got filled like 27 shares and like 300 shares, and then a couple hundred more shares. And then all of a sudden I got filled like 5,000 shares, 9,500 shares. So, these were, I was taking some profits on some other stocks, and taking some losses as well. But basically, I put up a wall here at 34 cents, and they did not have the heart to break down my wall. Even with all those extra shares, they did not want to dump or short below 34. I believe these levels are insane. If you do the math, the hedge fund was buying shares in the offering at their best case scenario for 72 cents. And they have other shares they paid a hell of a lot more for. Now, yes, they made money shorting it down to 34 and wringing money out of retail, who's weak and, buys on FOMO and sells on panic. Um, exactly what the hedge funds want you to do, so they can make money trading in these little channels over and over, and they can make money on the pump and dumps over and over. But I am not seeing any conviction for them to take the stock below 34. And we'll see if I'm wrong on that. I know on Thursday I was in a meeting and I didn't have a limit order in, and um, I was not able to take advantage when they brought the stock back down, I think to 33.8 or something like that. Just very briefly, but pretty much this 34 level is holding right now as short term support, and also, of course, an all time low for the stock. if you just look at the Zacks research report that they did late last year, they're talking about each of these drugs being worth a couple $100 million. Um, I think Lavalson Menden is worth, potentially billions of dollars in sales. There's just do the math. I mean, how many people have this type of heart failure? What are they going to charge for the drug? Um, there's no other treatment available. This would be a pill that's the most easily administered of any type of medication, pretty much. Everyone will be able to tolerate it. It's proven safe. It's proven effective in Europe for decades. It just hasn't been feasible. The last phase 3 trial, they didn't meet the endpoint. The endpoints changed to something they did meet. Um, it's just one of those drugs that's kind of languished for different reasons. The companies that owned it didn't bring it forward, um, and it's come down to TENX. They have the right now. They have the patents. They're phase 3 ready. They have a very favorable position with the FDA. So all the ducks are in a row here. Whether the drug is worth 200 million today or 300 million today, I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist or anything. I am just a curly-headed freak with a phony tail man bun situation on a Good Friday. But by the way, it is March. It is not March. It is April 7th, 2023, sitting at about 11 a.m. That's on the Pacific Coast out here in beautiful sunny Los Angeles. We're at the beach, and it's 2 p.m. out in NYC. Hope it's a great day wherever you are, great day or night wherever you are across this beautiful world. We all share. DannyDealz put in a wall at 34 cents. We don't know if it's going to hold or if they're going to beat it down again next week, but I just look at this. Okay, we have all the warrants are out of the way. I view that as a very good thing. Any buyer, any partner, they're going to want to know where they stand. They're going to want to know how much of this company am I buying, how much of the profits, who are my partners. You don't want some fly-by-night company with a lot of, a bunch of bad warrants and options and all this garbage that any deal you get into is going to be poisoned by some long hedge fund. So now, okay, they've diluted the hell out of us, but if you're smart and you want to stay in the stock, you would have been buying these shares at 34 cents. I mean, the hedge funds were just buying shares for 72 cents. Hold on one sec. Phone's ringing. Okay, guys, sorry about that. In any case, I just wanted to mention I do my best, but I always try to say, don't trust me. Don't trust any loudmouth, curly-headed freak with a phony tail you meet on YouTube or anybody online. I do my best to be accurate. I double checked with not just like Yahoo, Nasdaq, Ortex. I also double checked with my broker because I did notice that same discrepancy between the share count listed in the 10K and then the market cap and the share count that we're seeing all the way across the internet. And I figured, hey, if the NASDAQ doesn't know how many shares are trading on their own exchange, we've got big problems. But it looks like everything has updated. Mr. SillyDecisions was completely right, and this guy was completely wrong. So please do your own research and be sure to double check everything. And if this dilution makes you that uncomfortable, I can understand if you're not adding, but that's the nature of this kind of thing. When they really dilute the thing, the stock tends to crash. So that's your opportunity to re-up. To you have to look at your share, your piece of the pie, not just a share count, but sort of the ratio of the company you own. That's how I look at penny stocks. And if they dilute and they offer more stock in the company, I might not be an institutional investor that can actually buy the offering, but you basically get the same opportunity because the price is going to normalize to that offering price, or usually slightly maybe below it. To be honest with you, because it's always negative news. If you have offering reverse split, you're in that sort of toilet bowl spiral. That's never going to be a positive. So the stock tends to crash back down below that offering price. Now, usually hedge funds and, institutional investors are going to want to, get the shares at a discount. So that's why they're probably like, oh, yeah, we're going to get these shares at 72 cents. But then they short the stock down to 34 cents. And I'm the type of stubborn idiot who I'm going to buy all those shares at 34 cents and I'm not giving them back to you. because I believe this Lavos and Menden is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and this market cap is now 8 million bucks, and the warrants are all out of the way, and we own 100% of the rights to this drug through 2040 with patent protection. um, all we need is a partner who can conduct the phase three, who can fund a phase three. And it's not a particularly complicated or risky phase three. It's very likely to be approved. With the endpoint that we've been given, with Dr. Rich's insider status with the FDA, there's a lot of reasons that I think we can get through this trial if we get the partner. And that's what was noted in the in the 10K. That's what was noted. I saw the chief medical officer. I think his name's Dr. Dannenberg. I might be wrong about that, but and he's another medical. I love that this company's full of doctors. I mean, maybe a few more MBAs would have been good. Not so many doctors, bickering and not raising money when they should have. But in any case, just want to send a shout out to some of the bears out there. They could very well be right about this one. This is extremely, extremely risky investment. This is years away from making any revenue. It requires a partnership. It requires things to go well in the trial. If all that happens, you're going to be very handsomely rewarded. Yes, there will be a lot more dilution. Yes, a partner would take the majority of the revenue, but so what? If you're talking about billions of dollars in sales over this drug, and you're buying shares right now at an $8 million market cap, I mean, think about it. This could be selling $8 million like every week. It's very, very feasible. This share price, the market cap is detached from the value of the assets. I'm no Zach's fanboy, but read their analysis last year, like last September, what these drugs are worth. Now, imitinib, they have scrapped until at least 2024. But if they get a partner for that drug, which they potentially could, that could change. I mean, that would send, if we got partner for both drugs, that would be incredible. Somebody with some money to spend, who sees the potential. I mean, it's very possible they could make a very, very favorable deal. Look, we just gave away the store for 15.6 million bucks. So if you're coming in with money to fund phase threes, we're probably, giving you the firstborn daughter of the the management. But in any case, guys, I hope you guys have a great holiday, a great weekend. For all you bears out there, you're often right on these penny stocks. They are very risky. They often go to zero. They often punish the retail investor, and they get diluted and basically crapped on. So, SillyDecisions, the other guy who always dogs me and posts all the time, is Retro321, I think. Um, hey, that guy's been right about the price action. There's no doubt. I don't know if he's short. I have no idea. Maybe he's short, maybe he's long, maybe he's mentally ill like me. Um, but in any case, guys, I'm going to try to bring you accurate information. It looks like the market cap is now like 8 million, which would imply a share count of somewhere 22.3 million by my quick Staples $3 solar calculator here. But anyway, my name's DannyDealz. The stock is TENX Therapeutics. TENX is the ticker symbol. Go out and get you some if you want to. Please don't take financial advice from me. I'm underwater in this stock. I'm underwater in most penny stocks. I've been getting most of your penny stocks getting hammered because, let's face it, penny stocks that don't have revenue need money. Money is very expensive in this interest rate risk averse environment. Everybody's fearful about the banks, the particular banks that do, venture capital, where they hold this is where everybody's worried. So, it kind of makes sense the stock's been hammered, but let's face it, this is an artificial short type of situation. The short interest on the stock has gone absolutely through the roof in the last month. So, and the dark pool short is huge also. So, I don't know. Usually I count on Ortex to update things in a timely fashion, but this time it didn't come through. So let's take a look, see what happens to the stock on Monday, and I expect we'll be riding in these mid 30 ranges until we get some news, or until the hedge funds in question decide to do another pump and dump on the stock. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.